am most interested in chatting about CEOs and the cult, the fandom that is created around our chief executive officers. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bob Iger. You were on my mind.
Okay, the mama had a swag like mine. She even wear a herd on her back.
Fandom around business leaders is not new. Let's just name a few business leaders who have had a chokehold on America's minds. Let's talk about Henry Ford, the Rockefellers, Steve Jobs. I'm talking about y'all. Celebrity CEOs are not new, and they have spent much public relations, money, and time developing a personality about their job, about who they are, about what they do for the American economy. And I just think that's a fascinating little history. So let's talk about it. I think there's a couple different kinds of corporate CEOs. I'm also not going to just chat today because obviously I didn't do my makeup except to put on my foundation before filming this. So I thought, since I didn't want to take the time to put on my makeup before filming this, that I would put on my makeup while I filmed it. Okay. Also, I want you to notice the beautiful rainbow sweater. I love this sweater, and it is November, so I get to wear it. The culture of celebrities. CEOs seem to have different kinds of mythologies that they create around themselves, and one of them seems to be invention. Whether it's John D. Rockefeller revolutionizing how we used oil, or whether it's Henry Ford inventing the factory line and being able to reimagine how quickly we could industrialize the United States and come up with cars that are easily accessible to most Americans and affordable. Invention seems to be a key factor in the making of a celebrity CEO. Let's talk about that. What kind of mythology do you associate with certain celebrities? Let's think Steve Jobs. He invented the Apple MacBook, which he did not. I don't think he really did. I think there was a whole team of people who invented the MacBook. But Steve Jobs was brought in to revolutionize how Apple sold its MacBook, how they marketed it, how it was used, and eventually not just the MacBook or the Mac, but you had, and I think I said MacBook when I meant like the Mac desktop computer, but you had the iPhone, the iPad, the Apple AirPods. You have all of that came out of the mind, we're told, the genius of Steve Jobs.
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not three separate devices. This is one device. We are calling it iPhone.
I believe it. I believe Steve Jobs was really brilliant in how he did that. But that is not just one man who's doing that. That is a multiple faceted team of people at Apple who came together and steered the company into new territory when it came to technology. Bill Gates and Microsoft. I don't remember the first time I've heard of Bill Gates, but I definitely was told from an early childhood moment that Bill Gates invented Microsoft computers in his garage. Or was that Steve Jobs and Apple? No, I'm pretty sure that was Bill Gates and his garage. Jeff Bezos, he invented Amazon and came out with the idea of a direct-to-consumer kind of store that you could buy cheaply, and it started with books, and then it branched out into multiple genres. So the idea of celebrity invention is not new. It goes back over 100 years, and there is a whole genre of celebrities who rest their laurels on their inventive skills. Now, does this mean that they are as brilliant as they say they are? I think that we just need to look at Elon Musk to understand that celebrities are not as inventive as they say they are. Elon Musk rarely seems to have invented things on his own. He seems to have borrowed the ideas of his, like he bought PayPal after it already existed. He bought Tesla after it already existed. He bought SpaceX after it already existed. And he bought Twitter after it already existed. Are we seeing a pattern yet? But he comes into these companies that have a product, and then he revolutionizes that product to make it better, appeal to the masses, and then takes the credit for inventing the product when he really just invented the marketing for the product. But that is besides the point. I don't want to get too political on how he's remarketing Twitter, how he remarketed Tesla, how he remarketed SpaceX, and he figured out how to lobby the government to give SpaceX some incredible contracts that worked better for the company as a whole. Inventive celebrities. Scams or real? Let's talk about scamming celebrities. So then you have a celebrity who claims to invent things, but is really just scamming you, but they've convinced you that they're inventing things. So we're talking about our favorite capitalist scam of a celebrity, Elizabeth Holmes.
Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Walt Disney, and Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes in Theranos, created a cult of invention, revolutionizing the medical industry, but it turned out, as we know now, it was a scam. She didn't invent anything, but she said she invented things. I think she is the case study in a celebrity CEO who built their celebrity on being an inventor, but was actually just scamming all of us. And I think that is a warning for all of us who love to, and it's not just you individually who love to lionize celebrities. CEOs are lionized by the media, whether it's the Forbes Hot 100 or whether it's Time Person of the Year. Corporate media loves a celebrity. They love the idea of an individual person who has picked themselves up by their own bootstraps, who has mastered the American dream, and has created a company that we can all love and adore, even if that company is actually a scam. Now, corporate media doesn't just love this idea. Our culture loves it, and I think you need to look no further than church celebrities to see how our culture loves this. So you're looking at the Jerry Falwells, the Paula Whites, the John MacArthur's, the Mars Hills, who have created a culture of celebrity church built around a pastor, even if that pastor is actively causing harm and is scamming people, even if that pastor is promoting a fake narrative of healing, of using your money for a cause that it's actively not using it for. Like, healing ministries do not work. They are a scam. But that is a culture of celebrity pastors, celebrity gospel, celebrity church that creates a CEO type of pastor who runs a business more than a religious organization. And that culty celebrity culture bleeds into both religion and industry in the United States. We feed into this narrative by loving our CEOs, by lionizing the pastor who doubles as a CEO, by lionizing the inventor who doubles as a CEO. We lionize them and end up giving them far too much sway. Why do they need this sway? They need it for tax cuts. They need it to line their own pockets. They need it to pass public policy that will benefit them and not actually benefit people. And I think that goes right back into what made me think about this, which is the celebrity CEO history of Walt Disney. Walt Disney is probably the top celebrity CEO with a chokehold on American culture. You could argue that belongs to Henry Ford, you could argue that belongs to Bill Gates, but ask any child in the world and they will tell you about Disney. They'll tell you about Cinderella. They'll tell you about Cinderella's castle. They'll tell you about Mickey Mouse and the Disney brand. Any kid in America who's ever watched a movie knows about the Disney brand. And I think that is much more powerful than Elon Musk, Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, or Bill Gates could ever be, because it starts from the cradle and it goes to the grave. It's not just Disney adults, it's Disney culture. And Walt Disney is a true celebrity CEO. He created his own company, the Disney Company. He created a brand centered around entertainment. He started something that every American is told is the ultimate capitalist dream, an actual company that makes money, that employs hundreds of thousands, and that appeals directly to American families and makes them money. And not only did it appeal to American families, but it created a brand that involved vast amounts of entertainment across the spectrum, and that went into every American home. And we were all told the story of Disney starting as a low-income artist, how he worked himself up, how he had a dream of opening a park that belonged to every American family, and how he turned his dream into good for all of us. And we love Walt Disney.
All who come to this happy place, welcome.
Walt Disney definitely had his flaws. I'm not going to go into all of his flaws today because I'm not a historian on his flaws. I actually don't know everything he did wrong. I just know this man is not the lionized emblem of American history that he should be. But I do know how the Walt Disney Company has strangled American creativity by extending copyright, by driving out people who could pose a business threat to them, by stamping on creative projects and outsourcing their competitors, and overall has actually hurt the creative industry because it benefits them to hurt that industry. And we don't like a monopoly, and the Disney company is a monopoly. Monopolies should be the opposite of the American dream, because they pull out by the roots anyone who can stand a threat to the celebrity CEO. But instead of breaking up monopolies, our government seems to pat them on the back and kind of like subtly wink, yeah, you can merge with Fox, yeah, you can buy Pixar, yeah, you can buy Star Wars and Marvel. And instead of allowing more competition, more creativity in the industry, it's now all gobbled up by the machine that is the Disney company. Now, I worked for Disney, so I can say this as somebody who worked for Disney. Their propaganda is strong. They have created an entire culture around their celebrities. And I think it's interesting that every Disney CEO is a celebrity. Every Disney CEO becomes either loved or hated by the Disney fandom, by the Disney brand. Michael Eisner. The man was a legend for being hated. You have a whole movie with the villain modeled after Michael Eisner. But he also created the Disney Renaissance. We have the classics from the 90s that would not exist without Michael Eisner coming in and revitalizing the Disney brand. And then you have Bob Iger, who oversaw the expansion of the Disney brand to so many different companies. He oversaw the purchase of Marvel and Pixar and Avatar and so much. Actually, he didn't oversee the merger with Pixar. That was years and years ago. But he oversaw the merger with Star Wars. That's the brand. Bob Iger is a visionary. He also is somewhat of a love-to-hate relationship with the Disney fandom. They hated him, then they loved him, then they hate him, and now they're back to absolutely thinking that Bob Iger is going to single-handedly save the company from Bob Chapek. People hate Bob Chapek.
Is there no way we can get rid of him?
Not without cause, Michael.
I have cause. It is because I hate him.
Disney CEOs have a history of being hated while they're CEO and then being loved when they're kicked out. So in 5 years, we'll see what people feel about Bob Chapek, because you never know, they may love him in 5 years. That's how fickle Disney consumers, fandoms are. Anyway, celebrity CEOs, they're toxic, they're bad. They create a fandom around a single person running a company, and then criticizing the company means criticizing a well-loved figure, which ends up working against the company because they cannot foster creativity and inventiveness. You cannot foster openness and honesty when a single person is the brand. How can you speak against a bad step that the brand is taking when the brand is known by that person? That means you're speaking out against that person and not the brand. So if you criticize Elon Musk, you're criticizing Twitter, even if unintentionally. If you criticize Jeff Bezos, that means you're attacking Amazon. If you criticize Bob Iger, that means you're attacking the Imagineers at Disney. That is terribly toxic for any company. And I think celebrity CEOs are definitely something that has been fostered and supported by American capitalism to the detriment of creativity, the consumers, and our society as a whole. Anyway, that was a little chat about celebrity CEOs. Very not thought of well. Apparently this is not a video essay, this is more a video rant. And it just needed to get off my chest, apparently. I just needed to talk about celebrity CEOs. Let me know what you think. Let me know who's your favorite celebrity CEO that you love to hate or that you hate to love. My favorite celebrity CEO that I hate to love, I can't help it. I hate to love Elizabeth Holmes. She does deserve all 11... Hey! She does deserve all 11 years in prison, but the Hulu documentary... I'm sad, though, that I will never see Jennifer Lawrence as Elizabeth Holmes. Kudos to Jennifer Lawrence for understanding when it's already been done and not trying to take over again, but I wish she had done it first. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my Patreon, hit me up on Instagram, slide into my DMs. Love to chat more with y'all, and I'll see y'all later.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.